RoboPapa.
Hey YouTubers, RoboPapa here, and today I'm going to show you how to install Windows 10 IoT on Raspberry Pi 2. So a couple of days ago, Windows released their Windows 10 Core with the Raspberry Pi 2 installation. So to do that, we'll have a couple of softwares that we'll need to download, as well, of course, as the hardware. So to go over the hardware, you will need the Raspberry Pi 2, a micro SD card, that way you can hold the Windows 10 Core in it, and obviously the softwares that you want to download to the SD card. An HDMI cable, not a must, but it's a good first step to make sure that your installation is correct. An Ethernet cable and a power supply. You also want to have some jumper wires, a perf board, LED, and resistors. That way you can test a Blink program. As far as the software, if you didn't register yet, please go and register with Windows 10 and the Microsoft Connect. That way you can download the ISO file for Windows 10 and the Windows 10 IoT Core. After you register, you will get some license terms within the Microsoft Connect, and after you agree to them, you will be able to get to this kind of page where you can download the Raspberry Pi 2 build. So download that. It's around 490 megs. Should not take too long. While this one is downloading, you want to go to the Windows 10 homepage, and after you sign in, you will get this Windows 10 page where you want to go to Get Started PC, and you can read through what is the expectation, and after you're done, you get the preview, and you want to download the ISO file. Don't do the start upgrade now. You just want to download the ISO file. So if you have a dedicated machine, that's great. You can install that ISO file from a USB using any software that for your liking that can create a bootable USB. However, if you don't have a dedicated machine like myself, what you can do is actually install the Windows 10 ADK by going to this link, and that will download and install the command line and some other small programs that you will need in order to flash the Windows 10 Core into the SD card that will go into the Raspberry Pi. And because I'm using a VM, then I'm using this VMware player, which I like, and it's pretty good, and it's working with the Windows 10. So to get started with the software, after you download the Windows 10 ADK, which I have it, where is it? There you go. So the ADK setup, you will click on that, and it will install the Windows ADK, and you will have like a link where you will find deployment and image tool environment. And when you click on that, run that as an administrator, you will want to go to the same folder that you downloaded your build. So over here you can see I already have the folder after unzipping this. So if we'll go to that folder, you will see that there's the flash over here that we will need to flash to the SD card. So to know what disk number is your SD card, you can do the disk part, and we can do list disks, and right over here, disk number 2, that's the one that I'm going to use to flash the Windows 10 Core. So to flash the Windows 10 Core on your SD card, you will want to run the following command, and you will want to replace this N with the number that you see over here, which is disk 2 in my case. When you click enter, it will start installing. It will pop up a window that they found new SD card, and you just want to ignore it. When it's done, you just ejected correctly from the within Windows. That way you're not corrupting the SD card. When you're done with that, you want to put it inside the Raspberry Pi, connect your HDMI and the power and the Ethernet, and boot it up. It will actually show you the Windows logo, and then will do its thing and reboot and show the Windows logo again. Which in the end, don't stop it. It might flash, and it will take a couple of minutes. In the end, you will find something like this, very similar. This is just a picture that I got from the Ethernet, and you will find your IP address of your Raspberry Pi right over here, which you want to note. That way you can actually have a remote debugging from the Windows 10 and Visual Studio 2015. So if you got to this point, congratulations, you basically installed the Windows 10 IoT core on the Raspberry Pi. But to do something with that, you actually need the Windows 10 and Visual Studio 2015 in order for you to be able to work with that. And that's where the VM is coming in play. And like I said, I installed the VM player, and I'm using the Windows 10 ISO to start it. So here is my version of the Windows 10 over here, and you will want to actually also download the Visual Studio 2015. When you do install it, don't try to install other stuff. It's kind of, for me at least, it had some issues and it stopped it in the middle. So just let it go. Install everything in there, and when it's done, there will be other steps that we will need to take in order for us to actually start working. So first thing that we need to do is actually enable the developer on the Windows 10, and in order for you to do that, we need to basically call the gpedit MSC, and you probably will get a couple of SkyDrive because it's not set up. Don't forget it's a preview, so there might be some issues that we don't like, but so far I didn't see too serious things or crashes. You want to go to the administrative templates, Windows component, and then the app package deployment. All of these will be not configured for you, so you want to right click the allow all trusted apps to install, click the edit and mark it as enable, and then you will go to the allow development of Windows stored app, and you want to click edit on this and enable as well. Then you want to basically, you need to get the trusted on the your device on your Raspberry Pi. So you want to start the PowerShell, and you want to start that as administrator. And over here we will need to connect to the Raspberry Pi. So remember the IP address, that's where you will find it handy. So the first command that you want to do is, just to be safe, you want to do net start winrm, and it will start that service. Then you want to do set idem ws man localhost client trusted hosts value, and then over here you want to put your IP address for the Raspberry Pi 2. I already did that, so I'll skip that step. Sometimes there's some exceptions on a certain module, so you want to do, just to be on the safe side, remove module ps readline force. And then the last step is you want to do enter ps session computer name. Once again, you put in your IP address over here, credential, and your IP address of the Raspberry Pi as well over here, and then it's the administrator. When you do that, it will pop up a login, and the password for the administrator is basically p at ssw0rd password. And with that, you should it will take around 30 seconds, and you will be able to connect to your Raspberry Pi. And when you're in the Raspberry Pi, you want to do the dlist, and there should be a couple of tasks that are started or over there. Trying to remember the name of those tasks. So you will, after doing the tier list, you will need to see two instances of msvs mon.exe. That's the remote debugger. In case that you don't have it and you cannot connect to the Raspberry Pi with the remote debugger from Visual Studio, you probably want to reboot your Raspberry Pi, just that it will initialize the remote debugging. So with that, you actually finish installing everything, so we can actually go to the demo of the blinker. So this is just like from online. I pick up the example from there, and I'm connecting my LED to pin number 26. And there is some documentations about the headless and headed application. This one is a headed application, so you don't need to do anything. It's by default comes with a headed on the Raspberry Pi with that installation. So really, all we do is setting up a timer for 500 milliseconds, and it's going to raise an event. I'm initializing the GPIOs, which basically tells which pin is I want and like for what direction, and I'm opening that pin. And then every tick that happens, so every half a second, I will flip the LED. And this is just because it's a headed application. Then if you will view the monitor that your Raspberry Pi is connected, you will see a flashing circle going from red and gray, red and gray. But if you're not connected to the monitor, that's where the jumper wires and the LED will be useful. So we'll connect the ground, which is right next to pin 26. They are on the inside row near the USB ports. So it depends on how you're looking. If your HDMI is facing on the right, then those two pins will be on the top on the inside row. If you are flipping and the HDMI is looking on your left, it will be on the bottom on the inside row. So when we run that, before you can run it, you actually want to set up your remote machine and you will be able to access it from here. But because I already set it up, I'll just show it over here. I'm setting up for the IP address as what you saw on the first Windows from the after you finish installing the SD card, and you want to make sure that you're not using any authentication. So after you done that, you can actually click the remote machine to start it as either a debugger or not. And here you go. Now you have a blinking LED. If everything works correctly, you have a blinking LED that blinks every half a second. And the nice thing is that I can actually put a breakpoint right over here, and now I can start debugging this code, which is pretty slick to have. If you have some connection issues, once again you want to make sure that the remote debugger on the Raspberry Pi is actually started, and that you remove the authentication from within the configuration of the remote machine. So there you have it. This is the Windows IoT core on the Raspberry Pi, and showed you also how to have a small blink LED. I think the code is pretty self-explanatory. I will post a link to all the pages as well as the code in the description. Let me know what you guys think. If you liked it or not, leave a comment below if you have any questions or issues. And as always, please subscribe. It helps a lot. Thanks.